Okay, just hitting record here. Awesome. Great to see you, Betty, Stacy, Christine.
You too.
Good to see you too.
How was your week, Betty?
Good. Busy, but good.
I bet it went by real fast.
It did go by real fast.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you too, I would like to get that class, that one on drawing on gesso. Are
Sure.
you still selling the recordings?
Yeah, you betcha. I'll take care of that. I'll send those links to you.
And I want to talk to you outside of class about the oil one also.
Okay. Let me see, just make a note here. So drawing on gesso. I'm teaching that in person next weekend.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'll fly right out.
Yeah, do it. Oh my God, please come, stay a while.
I'll see if my pilot's available.
My jet.
Oh, look at those paintings in the background there, the brush.
Oh, darling, on spotlight.
Good morning. Ooh, that's a lot of me.
Oh, yeah. And what is the piece on the very bottom?
Oh, this was I did a sneak peek of what was coming up.
Sonia
I was
Kurarra.
looking at the Australian artist, and so I started playing with shapes and
I like that.
It
Very
feels
organic.
like, yeah, it was exactly the word I stole it right from my mouth, Betty. Yeah, very organic. It looks like a creature, like under a microscope.
Amoeba.
That's
Yeah.
what it looked like to me, was an amoeba, or, when you get under, like you said, under a microscope and you can see.
Yes.
When we were in Australia, we visited native peoples, and they do a lot of dots. A lot of their work is just dots, not dots like an impressionism. The shape is, the work is these dots. So that's what her work, of course, because she is First Nations Australia.
Great.
But
Yeah, she has a bit of a different approach, because I know the dots you speak of being other artists' works, and I mean, I'm just assuming that it has some cultural connection to why those dots are significant. But yeah, I found that Sonia was a bit different, because now on my social feeds, I'm getting because I've looked at Sonia, getting other artists in a similar style, and she stands out.
And she does a lot of short, straight lines. That I found interesting.
Here we go. Irene has joined us. Yeah, we're gonna. I have her work on I've selected some of the works that I could find of her. There's not a lot of her online. More than likely at her age and maybe not having significant representation. But I've found what I could. Good morning, Irene.
Hey. Hi. Morning.
Morning.
Taking us on a ride, huh?
What's that?
You're taking us on a ride.
I just finished a Pilates class, and it's like, I gotta go. I have another class.
Good for you.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe a good idea, or maybe not. I don't know, to in the studio have one of those core balls as your chair, to sit and to work.
Oh yeah.
And core at the same time. But I'm not sure I can pull that off. Too much all at the same time. Okay, very impressive. And away we go here. We're just going to get right into looking at Sonia. Sonia Kurarra, now that I have forgotten her name so many times, I will remember it for what it's worth. It's a beautiful, rolls off the tongue name. I had I was teaching a class on Wednesday, and I had a plan that I ended up abandoning because Sonia had, introduced into my world, and I'm so fascinated by her world. And without knowing, and a lot about her, and just finding her, I thought I can't get enough. So we ended up doing this kind of a little project as we're going to do today. So I'll share that with you. Something to start. This was in watercolor because that's what we were using at the Arts Network in Gananoque. And it takes a long time. So now I feel like I have a bit of a sample for you, but also some experience that it's a lot of layering. Oh my goodness. So we need the time to work today. So I'll get into the slideshow and just get inspired with some. It's the mark making primarily, of course, that's why we're here, but then also her color, and to just consider color theory, I think is going to be really valuable. Let me make sure. Okay. And so as Stacy, as I'm looking, okay, I'm just pulling up the slideshow, as we're looking at her work, something to think about with oils. In my mind, I was like, maybe consider starting with something else like gouache or drawing tools, and then to bring in oils just so that it's, or maybe, yeah, you have an active ground. Fantastic.
So I made this as a ground, and I was gonna use black,
Cool.
but either black or white, and then doing the mark making over. No?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But just like limiting just black,
Yeah.
Okay.
Either black or white.
Sure. Yeah, I think you might want to extend that palette, but up to you. We'll see. But I love that you have that prepared. That's great. You guys are pros.
I've been called a lot of things. Pro wasn't one of them.
Right. Pro is not one of them.
Here we go with Sonia Kurarra. Look at that wonderful smile. She looks like a happy lady. And I actually read some stories about her where she was very hot and cold. Some days she would just, be bubbly. And then some days she'd kind of come at you for taking her favorite brush, sort of thing. So she's, and forgive me if I don't get pronunciations right here, but Walmajari woman born in 1951, and she just recently passed. I was very sad to read that. That was just in July that I found an article about her passing. She is from the Nunkunba community on the banks of the Martuara. She paints and repaints her custodial country in abstracted colors and shapes, revealing her understanding of gestural narrative. Love that. Gestural, lyrical lines, like she's dancing with the brush. One of the most important practicing female artists in Western Australia, watching Sonia paint is a divine act. Zealous dedication and seamless transitions turn energy into aesthetic. Streams of colorful consciousness pouring from her core. Gesture and emotion are essential to her mark making, mediating and meditating through paint application. Inspired by the sandy Billabong country along the stretch of the Fitzroy River that runs directly behind the community, including Gappy Fish, Parmar Rocks. I don't know about that one. but it's a thing. She paints. And Carly, the boomerang. She paints images over and over as though they are etched into her psyche. Works that are linear representations in monotones, and others that are layers lathered on with wild and confident brushstrokes. Her sublime art making is unparalleled. All at once, her work speaks to the past, present, and future, equal parts personal and universal. So it was a wonderful PDF that I ran into, and I'll send it out in the follow-up, just simply because, I mean, you can find it online. Again, there's not much on her out there on the internet, but she has had shows, and really wonderful. I just took this from that curator who wrote this about her, and I just thought it was perfect. Well said. And very inspiring, and some photos of her working. So we see that she's used paint markers, which makes a lot of sense. And acrylic definitely is one of her mediums. Now, surface-wise, I've read that she's used paper, canvas, but then also this is a cowhide. I think it looks like a painter's palette. Like, it's so fantastic. Is that intentional? I don't know. I'm not sure, but I just love the raw edges, and love to hold that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really wonderful complementary. So these are all, tints and tones. Lots of grays. Wonderful use of grays. We'll try and zoom in for any of the images that can handle, the quality of zooming in, just because there's so much layering and active brush strokes and the shapes. And there's a lot of repetition, but there's also areas where it feels disconnected as well, like in a wonderful way. That one's a small image. Yeah. Lots and lots of building. So to me, that doesn't seem like there's a lot of brush washing, and I mean that in a positive way. That there just seems to be, like in this area, for example, just continuing on with the color, maybe dipping into a new color, and in that, I do that a lot actually, and I feel that it creates color harmony. I mean, not all the time. You have to wash your brush going from white to a color, or vice versa, but there still seems to be like areas of, I like that dirty blend. So take note of what colors on the kind of the active ground, how are we going to prepare just to do our own version in spirit of Sonia, and with these repetitive marks, but there's still shapes, right? What I'd like to do is suggest that we focus our thoughts as we work on nature, on places that are important to us, as she, thought of the river and the fish. I also had read she was very interested in folklore, which I also think is a cultural connection just for the area. So if there's any storytelling narrative that I love this piece with all the playful greens in there. It could be a nice way to study greens. Again, there's intense color, there's muted, we got temperature shifts, cool to warm. Shout out any observations as we go, if you have a thought. And I love this piece. It's really intense.
So was a lot of this done with those acrylic uh, markers?
This one for sure. And I'm only sure because of the tip, like the
Yeah.
lines, but this is with the brush.
Okay. Yeah. Because I don't have, that's one thing I don't have. And I don't want to buy more art material.
Not necessary. No, I mean, this might inspire certain choice of brush, like more of a round tip, which, you know, normally I'm like you, Irene, I like flats or brights, but, you know, maybe a filbert or a round would be good for this.
She doesn't have a lot of like rectangular or square edges, except for her marks, like within, like they're curving, right? Like there's a lot of curves.
Yes, yes. This is to me almost like a continuous line. When we do gestures or contours, feels like there's a lot of rhythm. This piece to me is very fascinating with the color choices. And listen, I again, just going from the limited information that I've read, because of the center that she kind of worked in, and I believe it was a place where they did a lot of kids classes and, you know, not just art, but other like dancing and singing and maybe like a community center. It's very possible that she just used what she had because and listen, it could very well be that it was intentional, but something in my gut is saying that here and there she just used color, and then if she ran out, she ran out. Or like this, you know, kind of neon or so. Just okay, try a little bit there. Do I like it? Oh, and I'll cover it up, whatever. Like, it's very possible it was very intentional. But I'd like to think it was also just playful and experimental as well.
Yeah. I like that.
Great color. So take note of, you know, make some notes of the color combinations that you really, really like. This one's fantastic with that. It's like a fall palette. Autumn.
But the dark blue is unusual.
Yeah, yeah. And it's pretty vibrant too. I mean, other than some little marks there, but
yeah.
Whereas everything else seems to be fairly muted. Oops, sorry. The other two are on the side of it. They're so detailed, and the images that I got were so small in resolution. So they're very, very pixelated, and yet really just showcasing how fantastic with the detailing and just, you know, losing herself. It's like a tapestry. These are two separate pieces. I see a fish.
There are a lot of fish in what I saw. A lot of fish.
That's a really nice color palette here. Teal, blue, violet, and again, those neutrals. Love. No, there's this was I love Charles Bukowski. This was used in one of her promotional, like from the gallery. My wrists are rivers, my fingers are words. And that truly speaks to how I feel and why I feel it's so important that we focus on ourselves as, you know, the instrument. Oh, there's a person there sitting at a table. Oh my God. Do you see it? Or they're in a go-kart.
Or boat.
Yeah, like I think that's so beautiful. My wrists are rivers, my fingers are words. It just so profoundly speaks to the connection of all the arts, but that truly we are the tool. Another great example of color theory, and then those neutrals, just really stunning. Different shapes in this one.
Another fish in that one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so. Or a turtle.
Or a turtle, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I see. Oh, maybe it's a hybrid.
A fish turtle.
This one showcases some extreme with like value contrast with the background. So that's like using maybe opaque colors on black gesso, black paper surface.
Sure. When you're talking about her use of neutrals, do you know if she like mixed the neutrals from the color she was using, or like she actually used like a gray?
I'm sure she mixed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's because they're colorful.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these grays actually could be white, just applied pretty transparently, or
Mm-hmm.
not worrying about coverage so much. Because like truly, I think this is going to be a lot of dipping, like dipping into the paint, but to not worry so much about like if you get a dry brush or your line, like look at that. That's very scumbled. There's no need to have a consistent, like this isn't about it looking graphic.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, and hopefully the opposite. I mean, this is very much organic and loose. There's just a lot of it. So the key with Sonia's work, and from my perspective, is repetition. And it's, again, not the same thing repeated over and over in the same way. It's all very, there's a dance to it, but there's still a lot of large shapes and then small shapes and lines and patterning. I love this piece. And again, there's so much color in there. I'd love to see this in person. So this is, I mean, she's got stuff underneath there, like violet, that she's covered up and allowed that to show through. Kurarra, and so this is about Sonia. Sonia Kurarra is like the Mutuara River. She can be calm, like the soft flows of the Mutuara, or destructive, depending on the mood she's in. Kurarra, or Sonia Kurarra, paints free-flowing, navigating each twist and turn of the Martuara. As the river brings life to the Martuara people, so does each brushstroke as it hits the canvas. So thinking about water and allowing you to be sort of that vessel for, I mean, this to me is a meditation, right? It's like allowing that to like literally flow, figuratively, literally.
Wow.
Hey, baby. Okay, so I just made some notes about color coording, which is a term used for sequential occurrence of color in a design. So when we think about analogous color progressions, analogous meaning 3 colors next to each other on the color wheel, including primary, secondary, and then the tertiary, which is primary and secondary mixed together, such as blue, blue-green, and green. that color leaps within a composition of color chord progressions. They supply or can supply contrasting accents and visual excitement. So we've got value, we have temperature, and we have color progressions and layering. And so here's some snippets of works that we just looked at. Oops. That I just took note of, that I thought were interesting. The teal over cool red and orange over teal, I thought was, just strangely fantastic. And then, like, for myself, I love blue, teal, green, violet. Again, that's like, a really extensive sort of analogous combination. And yet I normally wouldn't go there because it's a little bit too pretty for me. Like, and yet it's the grays that make it work for me. And there's, again, there's the warm grays and cool grays. There's like what looks to be, I didn't have it in the snippet necessarily, but if I just quickly go, there seems to be like, almost like a buff, which I'm pretty sure she would just have made, unbleached titanium or titanium buff is easily made. It's white with really like a little bit of Indian yellow or just a little bit of warmth to it. Yellow ochre or something added, just a touch. But yeah, isn't that like, I just find that so stunning. Okay. Do you want to, anyone want to look at one or two before I close down the slideshow? There we go. Okay. It's good. I'm going to come back to you. There we go. Okay.
It reminds me kind of like the neuro, what is it?
Neurographics. Yes.
That kind of
do what you want.
Here, I'm going to show you something that happened this summer, just for on that note, because it was actually one of the projects I did in the Expressive Mark Making week-long workshop at Loyalist College. It was, I mean, I had all these exercises that could have, depending on kind of the day or the pace or what was desired, or just what people were vibing with. And it was one that I wasn't sure would be of interest, but it really, on the last day, was like everyone needed it. So this ended up being a tester for my palette. I can't remember which palette it was, but I was just going and kind of playing with the different colors that I had in my palette, and it was super fun. So, hopefully whenever you're just like, I want to do something creative, it doesn't need to be a painting of a barn. Like, you can actually just bring peace and really a lot to learn too, because I was having a lot of fun with just playing with that color and pigment and seeing what each pigment did, to just keep something really simple like the neurographics. I didn't finish that day, but
I have one of the neurographics that we started, and the last when the woman came to speak to us.
Mary, yeah. Oh, wow. And you made it into an art book.
Fabulous colors.
That's so cool.
And it took forever, but it was like so relaxing and so just I don't know. It was fun.
What
It's a whole bunch of different things. So there is some white acrylic,
okay.
and there is a texture on it.
Mm.
I think that was just tissue paper. It was just something I had hanging around. And
Oh.
then pencil crayons and just different.
Wow, hold it back, stand back just a little bit, Christine. I just want to see the whole thing because that's pretty big. Wow. Yeah, no wonder it took you a long time.
But it was fun.
Beautiful colors.
Yes.
Very soft.
Yes.
Anyway.
Thank you for sharing. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. All right, let's get our tools out. If you want to just do a little study, okay, I'll just do a little demo of just the mark making aspect here. Spotlight, okay. I might just do half a sheet. This is a pretty big piece of paper that I have here. It's like it's bigger than 11 by 14, so I'll probably just do half, but just to grab the sketchbook and make a couple of marks to warm up. I'm just going to start with a pencil just to get the idea of some of her overall, so her shapes. And she also used lines. So maybe to stay loose is considering how you're holding your tool. Oh, hello, Ant. You will have to die. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I recorded myself doing that. So I would like to get out acrylics and try it with the layering, because that's where I actually think acrylics is a good media choice, because it dries quickly for getting layers. Now, remember, I'm just starting kind of like, okay, this is how I saw Sonia's shapes and marks, but now, how do I be myself and take the idea and the concept of a flowing line or a repetitive line, or having repetitious patternings that I enjoy, right? Or a reflection of me. And then how am I enjoying, making those marks? How do I explore something new if I don't like what I've done without judging it, incorporating it into the whole, right? Because if you do something, because I don't think this is a premeditated, like, we're not mapping out a composition here. The composition will work no matter what you do. And that's a really good peace of mind because of the focus on repetition and pattern. So it's foolproof. Okay. So in that, it's an organically developed composition, very intuitive. And if you do something that you're not really enjoying, whether it's a mark, you're like, oh, I don't really like making that. I feel too stiff, or that's not really pleasing to my eye. You can still use the layering potential there by just going over and changing your mind and allowing that mistake to become part of the whole. Not mistake, allowing that, that shape or that line to still exist. So there's no covering up intentionally. And then I think at some point it makes really a lot of sense to then look at what you have and then say, well, now I like this. I'm going to repeat that then it's intentional. So why don't we do that in our sketchbooks? Let's do, actually, this is a project that I've done before with some people. To fill one page in your sketchbook, you have 5 minutes. How about that? 5 minutes to fill a page. I'm not going to time, just simply because I don't want to be like, oh, y'all have to start at the same time. So just time yourself 5 minutes. you give yourself a couple minutes to explore color combination that you could be, like, oh, that was interesting. This maybe Sonia used, or just go through your. I mean, I don't know if you have something in mind already, great. But if you're not sure, it's kind of like pencil crayons are easy if you have them accessible, or just starting to take out some of your tubes and putting them together. And I'm gonna have to get out my transparent permanent orange. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
I know. I've had that for years. I've never used it. And then it just like, wow.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe to hear that you've had it. Yeah, it's one of my favorite colors, and only Triart makes it. And like, orange is tricky, just like I guess sometimes greens. And well, I mean, I'm pretty particular about the color that I like Triart for their color, and like quinacridone magenta, for example. I don't like other companies' quin magenta. I like Triart's, and there's something about oranges as well. Do not like some companies' pyro orange or naphtha orange, but there's something about that permanent orange, transparent permanent orange is so freaking gorgeous. I've done a lot of fire with it, right? So
That's what it looks like. And I put it on raw wood and it just soaks in so beautifully. It's unbelievable.
yes, I am so thrilled that you're enjoying it. This is the color for those wondering. Well, I mean, I'll use it, but this is in mass tone. It looks like a very red orange, but it's actually like such a beautiful.
It in the bottle, like that's why I kind of went away from it. It's like,
right.
yeah, no, it's like, no, I don't really like that. But then I'm like, oh, I've got nothing to lose. I'm just putting this down. I'm doing these experiments because I want to put like chunks of paint on these boards and see what happens with self-leveling gel. But then like I'm like, oh, this looks nice. Maybe I'll do it. So I'm not even doing what I set out to do. I found something that's more fun.
This is the transparent permanent orange. So yeah, in mass, because it's a transparent color, in mass tone, it looks very cool, like, or at least like more red, but it's actually quite a warm, like it's in the middle. This is blending into the water soluble pencil, but yeah, it's obviously stunning. If you end up mixing it with self-leveling gel, because it's transparent, you won't know what it'll look like until it's so thoroughly dry, because the self-leveling gel is like looks white for a very long time. It's a really slow drying medium. So that, I mean, I'm always open to, not open, I'm always fascinated to watch paint dry. Like I like the switch of from, when you start to when it's dry. It's like magic. Okay, so I'm going to, I don't know, maybe I'll just stay working in here in this book since I've started. No, you know what? I'm going to suggest that we all put down at least a ground. So here we go. I'm going to use the permanent orange. Now just kind of let that dry for a bit. Stunning.
This exercise is kind of like, oh, anything goes. Like there's absolutely no rules, which I'm not used to that.
There's no wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, does it taste like freedom? Gosh, this is exactly what we need to, like the world is a bloody clown show right now. And I just think this feels right. So right.
Politicians should do this.
Yes, it should be mandatory. How that looks on camera. Oh my gosh. It looks on camera the way it does in person. It feels neon, even though it's not. Like I have fluorescent orange right beside me, and it is so not the same color. It's just stunning. I'm sure there's other companies that make beautiful oranges, but that one is an exceptional.
See, they're going to stop making it now, Shar. It's your curse, right?
Oh no!
You shouldn't say that.
Oh, this horrible color. I hate it. PO71. I'm going to actually look it up. I just want to. Oh, I kind of forgot about that.
PO71 is one of my favorites in watercolor.
Yeah.
It is beautiful with the Axisine purple.
Ooh, okay.
Level browns.
I have that out here. I'm going to use that. I'm going to. Do you know what it's what like they label it as offhand?
What do you mean?
Well, like, do they call it naphtha orange or?
Oh no, it's transparent orange.
Okay.
Or is it transparent pyro orange?
It is, yes. Okay, that's great. So pyro orange, when it's an opaque pigment, it looks very different. It's more on the pink side of things.
Oh.
Which is kind of like I'm looking online. Sorry, I'm not showing my screen. I am going to share my screen here.
I don't think I've ever seen an opaque pyro orange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Golden makes it. Well, at least in acrylic. Like it probably wouldn't be in gouache. I don't think gouache. I've never really seen gouache abide by the kind of familiar colors in other media. They do their own. Gouache does its own thing. It's like for the most part. There's some standard colors, but I've from what I've seen, and then I think gouache is really popular in like Korea, and there's lots of different brands. They don't really stick to the same names and stuff. So one of the color combination. So orange and teal, I like that. And then I want to do gray in there because I found that to be. So I'm going to get out the spotlight here. So let me know if I can help with a color palette. Just something, it really needs to be something that is exciting to you. And then maybe we can add something in just to throw it off a little bit, like give it a little, like in the note that I made of teal and orange, or like at least it was a kind of a red orange. There was like a crimson color that I would never have chosen, and I thought that was really interesting. So I'm going to see about. Oh yeah, and I actually recently made it. Okay, so from what I have color wise, magenta and sepia makes a really nice like alizarin crimson. So I'm going to play with that because that would be very different for me.
Shar, I put I use the golden orange also. Boy, it really looks a lot brighter than yours. But I liked her combination of the ones where she did kind of a red, orange, yellow, and violet.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that.
Do you want me to pull it back up? Do you want to look at?
I took some pictures,
Oh, fantastic.
screenshots while you were, but you know, I put out a palette of some craft paints that I had to use up. And I thought maybe I could just play with those on this orange
Absolutely.
background.
I think that's a great idea and use of those paints.
Yeah, I had them for a while, so.
And you know those like the Americana paints or like that, those, you know, everyone knows those little jars and whatnot. They last for a really long time because
Oh my
there's so much
gosh.
water in them, right? Like,
These were nice ones. They were Azteca.
oh
I
yeah,
didn't-
yeah.
And anyway, but now this was what I drew just like on my, this is just, I don't even know what kind of paper this is. But could I try painting, you know, this, what we were doing, just an exercise on our,
Yeah, I don't see why not at all. Even if it buckles is fine.
but like if she, okay, so you've got these, are you going to paint over this to get a background or just start painting the lines or the fill in? You know what I mean? Do you paint
I
the lines or
I
fill in?
absolutely know what your brain is trying to sort out right now. Because it's not necessary for us to like follow what Sonia's approach was. What I think would be fun. Oh, Stacy,
Is that what?
did you just do that?
Yeah, well, we were talking.
Oh my God,
But nice.
phenomenal.
Wow, really nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Is that oil? Did you do that in the oil?
Yeah, this is oil. So it was that background with acrylic wash and then the oil on top of it. So it's
Okay.
white, dioxazine purple, fluorescent or luminous opera, and transparent earth yellow.
Ooh, great with the earthy yellow and the bright opera pink. It's fantastic.
Yeah, really.
So this has been really fun because there's no rules and you just throw on some paint.
Well, and apparently pretty lickety split too. Impressive on the speed. Do you have more surfaces, I hope? No?
Actually I could. I could paint it and then go back to white to like remove stuff.
Yeah, you know, you can use white as a background. You don't have to have an under painting it, which so Betty to suggest, you know, that we can start from the drawn exercise. Feel free. I haven't put paints out yet. But feel free to just start following your line. This is because I use the water soluble here. Just, you know, it's about the action. It's not about how to start. And I think that just following the lines and then knowing that at some point it would be, you know, possible or maybe it'll make sense to come back in over and do a second layer or even a third layer. So, you know, don't worry about the paper if it buckles or whatever. Don't worry about putting in a background color. I would just follow your lines and get the paint down and go with, yeah.
That was my question. Thank you. I see what you're saying now. Once you get the lines down, then you can even decide then what to do.
Yeah, and so the color choices that we make, I think to make sure you have some good value contrast, because if you're having, say, a white paper and you want to let some of that show through, you don't have to, but like I just think that when you're working with lines, typically you will have something beneath it show through, right? Because you're not covering it up to a solid shape. That if white is your base, then you want to have some value contrast with the colors that you're building up on. So just kind of keep that in mind. You don't want a lot of light colors because white's the base. So
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of neat when you allow the like the designs to overlap, because I started off and like things weren't touching.
Yeah.
And now it's like, who cares?
Yeah. Well, and it's who cares? And then also like it's more interesting, right? Like to collide and that's where I think like even holding your tool, like make it so that it's sort of loose in your hands so that you're trying to like relinquish control a bit.
I wanted to experiment with greens, but I don't know what I'm gonna. I don't. Not quite sure. But maybe I'll just go for it.
Sorry, Koshi. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Well, what palette did you put out, Irene?
So, okay, I had just put like some yellow, like this is just yellow and ultramarine blue, like on a gesso board.
Nice.
I just put some like with the, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so this is dry. So I was looking at the color wheel and I'm like, I don't know, it just came to me. It's like, okay, yellow, green, maybe like I don't really like a bright like an emerald green. I don't like that, or a permanent green. But I like blue green. I like the turquoise. So I'm like, maybe I just do like the analogous
Yeah.
greens. But then I'm not gonna get really a gray in there.
You can make like a grayish green with just having some of that transparent permanent orange out.
Okay, so just do that. Okay, so I mean,
You'll get a muddy green like intentionally. I think having like and this is probably one of the few projects where an emerald green would rock.
Really?
I do.
Okay, well, I always like I bought it and I never used it. It's called
It's not called emerald green though, is it?
no, it's called permanent green, permanent green light or something like that.
Yeah.
Permanent green light, and I got it for a class I did with Sam like years ago. And it's like I pick it up and then no, put it down.
Yeah, this is a great. So why don't you use that as your base and then explore how you can make use of that, make it into greens that you do like. Like as in it don't use use it pure in the piece just for because I think it'd be a fantastic color for kind of non-objective mark making like project. But also if you use it as a mix, so playing with adding in yellow or adding in a red or even adding in more blue to it.
So even though like you want to stick to like an analogous theme, like that's okay. Like that's what I'm struggling with. It's like, does that make sense? Does it have to?
I still think that's analogous. If you have a main mixing color and you're going to different temperatures and shifting it, it's still going to be in the green family. How do you make that color warm? How do you make it cool?
Okay.
You could still use teal and other colors. You don't have to just use that as to revolve around, but I think it will still be all in that same area. The color wheel still be more of an exploratory and elegant situation, like just color mapping, right?
Okay. All right.
Color traveling, that's actually what I used to do that for myself. To learn color, I would just start with a color and then keep mixing and shifting and shifting. And you end up with like a rainbow cloud. And you really learn a lot about color quickly. That was mischievous.
I got paint up my arms.
Nice. You're ahead of me. I still have paint on me from yesterday though, and I had a shower this morning. I just didn't bother. Like, I'm gonna be painting again anyway. Why scrub? Okay, color complicates this whole thing. It was one thing to do the mark making with a pencil and like, Mm.
What color did you say makes an alizarin crimson?
Well, one way is quin magenta and sepia. It's like burgundy, like aubergine. It's not. It's cooler than an alizarin crimson, but it's a color that I had to make yesterday because I was like, oh, I need that color, and I was like surprised how I made it. Like any brown, any cool red, because alizarin is a cool, like really cool wine kind of color. Some companies make it and it's actually brighter, like but it's still a cool red.
Okay.
Some companies make it, it tends to be like more neutral, I guess. Or like a more on the brown side. Holy moly, trust the process, right? I mean, I'm like, what is happening? It's very uncomfortable. But it feels great. There's got to be something happening, like good learning coming out of this if you don't feel like you know what you're doing. All the technical parts of me are like, you need to have more control. This is the strangest palette. What are you doing? Wow. Blue and orange, or like I'm using teal and orange, and a gray is beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's very, very, very interesting gray because it's like super colorful. And that's what it looks like on orange. Really neat. Because I'm just sort of using a dirty brush. It was like keep mixing. Wow, where does the time go?
What time is it?
11:30.
Oh, wow. What time does class go until? I can't remember.
12.
Ah,
at this point, I think I've really underestimated the amount of time to cover this size of paper. Did I say I was going to do half? But in my mind, I'm like, okay, just for the sake of like applying, you know, what we can take away from Sonia, just in, and not just in spirit, but also like how we apply it to our art creating process. This is a stage where I would start to look at repeating things that are working and covering over and layering things that are that were like intuitively, you know, decisions made, and just like, okay, how can I maybe make that a little more cohesive? Looking at making sure color travels. If you've made a color and you really like it, can you bring it in elsewhere? Just those are the types of thoughts that I have usually around this stage. Value, temperature. Oh, really? How so? My gosh. As soon as I start thinking about where to put a color, or then I freeze. No idea what to do. Okay.
This is why I'm not thinking, I'm just painting.
To go back to not thinking.
I'm not good at not thinking.
Me neither. Although I think we were doing okay for a minute there. Something in me started to like, okay. I mean, I still believe it's okay to think, but
I'm finding that I'm repeating the same shapes too much.
too much. Can it, and really, can you have too much?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, if you want it to be more varied, is there like the opportunity then to like maybe merge some shapes, or
Make them different sizes? Or are they different sizes already?
That's a good point. Yeah, they're not different sizes, which tells me I maybe need to do that.
I'm some here and there just with some of the shapes that are happening in front of me remind me of, oh, what's his, Keith Haring.
Oh yeah.
Because of just some of the like some of the lines, or yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I like his work, but I wouldn't have ever thought I'd do anything that would remind me of him that I've done. Thankfully, no matter what happens, we've done something very different and unexpected today, which is great.
Yes.
Ooh, that transparent permanent orange, when you get into using it as a glaze, like over greens and grays, oh my gosh, it's so cool because it's already part of my palette, but oh my goodness, it's really neat just to subtly change things up. I love transparent colors, so I'm easily amused.
Are we gonna share our work? I'd love to see everybody's.
I was just thinking about that. Yes. Yeah. Give me just a minute. Everyone take a minute, make some not necessarily final strokes, but just to use the paint up on your brush. Okay. All right. Enough. um, who can also tear themselves away to share? Stacy, would you like to? Because you're the one who's not muted right now.
Sure. So I will share. I don't know. Can you see this one?
Ah, wow. Oh, it's just an explosion of beauty. I like this palette a lot.
It's just magenta, yellow ochre, and then a gray blue.
A gray blue that you made, or is it a color in a tube?
It's a color in and of itself. It's a cobra color. Pre-made. It's just PW7, Ultra, and black PBK9. Is that ivory? I can't remember which that.
Usually, because that's a mixing black. Okay, so it's like a stormy blue. That's very nice. I like that.
And then there's this one.
And so they're similar palettes in a way, even though they're different palettes. They looked somewhat similar.
Well, this one's purple and pink and yellow. And then this one is, well, fluorescent pink. And then this is magenta blue. Can you?
Yeah, they still really go together. Like, and at least that's what it comes off to me. I really like the low, like the value contrast, how it's not like really, really distinct. At least it doesn't feel like it is. And I like that, like that there's still value, but it has, like the white really carries. I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Everyone else is on mute, just so with just coming up to 12 noon, if you wanted to share and unmute. Stacy, I'm impressed that you did that with the oils. You did it so quickly. I really love that palette. Both of them.
Yeah, they were fun. And I just had to go in with, I'm just having fun, so we're not stressing about anything.
That's, you know, it's so beautiful that we can have this kind of like be able to practice that in our lives, you know.
Right.
There you go, Christine. I've spotlight you.
Not very far along yet, but it's getting there.
Wow. Oh, are you scraping into the paint? Yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's
So it was
epic.
started off too precious, and all my lines were all the same. And I'm going to take the other end of my paintbrush and scrape into it. So
Again, really neat color palette. So you've got like complementary happening, but it's almost like an accented analogous
yeah,
or complementary analogous. Yeah, that's really cool. Again, I don't know if like, is it just maybe when you have the focus on like patterning and you can get away with to me, like different unique color combinations.
I think so.
Yeah, that's epic, Christine. There's a lot of detail in there, which so I like that you went in more fine, like with the end of the brush. It's like a finer line.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes.
And that's not even a huge sheet of paper, it looks like. Is it?
No, it's just an 8x10 or something.
So look how much time it takes. It doesn't matter the size of the paper. This
No,
process just takes a long time.
but it is that kind of meditative. You're in your space and the world goes. I love it.
And I mean, I hate being the time breaker, to be like, okay, enough. 'Cause, we could go to dinner, I'm sure. Betty, may I spotlight you? Do you want to share?
Yeah. I mean, after seeing that, I'm too literal.
Yeah. Oh no, but look at you now. Oh,
But it's literal, I mean, it's much more, it's not as expressive as.
Oh, no need to compare though. This is definitely not objective. It's about patterning. It's hard on camera to see the white area.
Well, that's where this is the one where I just did the loose drawing at first.
Ah, I see. Oh, because those are your pencil lines in the way of the paper. Okay. You know what's actually kind of cool, Betty, is if maybe you leave some of those.
Oh, really? Don't make them
You don't have to paint them all in, but I mean intentionally, or maybe use white paint and actually go in and because at first I thought that was a choice you made, to have white.
The one thing I'm finding out, I don't usually paint with craft paints, and the one thing I'm finding out is you don't get the color coverage or concentration with them. They're not bad. These are also most of them are pearlescent, so so that gives it a nice sheen. But
no, I actually think they're perfect for this project. Again, love the design. It absolutely hits the nail. So if you need your literal brain to be rewarded as you can say, hey, I got, the mission was patterning, repetition, color exploration, the meditating in the process, because this is really truly not about a result, right? This is like Sonia Kurarra, that there's just really truly you can tell she's enjoying while she's painting, enjoying life. So I think the fact that you've put together this this plan, I'm going to use these paints, I'm going to go with the drawing, which I really felt the desire to do that as well, because it's like, oh, it's all kind of mapped out, ready to go. So I think that made a lot of sense to go in and continue on that, and it's a success. It's just going to take you all afternoon, that's all.
Right. See, I think it probably would have been freer if I would have put that aside and then gone ahead with the paintbrush.
True. Yeah.
So.
Well, and you can still do that. There's also time limits as well. Again, it's not a comparison thing, but I know there's, there's people that I'm well aware take longer to paint.
Right.
Or to do, because that's your internal rhythm, right? And you either have to honor that, or you can push yourself and say, I'm going to fill this page in a certain period of time, which can be very beneficial for mark making. It really can. So you could say, depending on your course of your day, or coming back tomorrow morning and saying like, I'm going to give myself a time limit, because then your brush strokes will be quicker. I have a little egg timer, and
Right.
actually have it so it's just tipping the stressing you out, just a little on edge.
Well, now you had the orange underneath yours, right?
Yes.
Well, I did a sheet and it's dry now, so I could do something on that.
Yeah. That is such an incredible surface to work on. I will say that it took a while to fill up, like where I was like not sure. Here, I'll just spotlight to share this one. Because I was like, how much of that do I leave?
Mm-hmm.
Right, but that looks nice. I mean, the orange is still showing, but now you didn't draw any of that. You did all brushwork, right?
Yeah, and it was like so strange, because especially at first, I was like, I don't, whatever the sketchbook was, where, in my mind, I was like, okay, this is a warm up, or it's like developing some sort of sense of maybe I'll know what I'm doing. But that is not how this felt. I felt like I had no idea what I was doing, especially
hers did look like she had a plan, though, in a way. You know what I mean? I mean, it was each one. It was it was something.
Yes, in a way, and no, I'm going to, it's just a guess. I'm gonna guess that she's done so many paintings that it ended up being a bit of a signature go-to for her, some of the shapes and whatnot. And who knows how many paintings we'll never see, because I mean, those are ones that were curated for a show. Like, someone went in and took what they thought were her best, but to had her age for another.
Oh, right.
I'm sure she was painting most of her life. So I'm sure she's just, she could do that blindfolded now.
Well, do we have time for me to ask a question about this? Do we have time for me to ask a question?
Yes.
She would start out, it looked like maybe fish. She would have a fish in mind. And then, no, you don't think so?
I don't think so. I think that maybe she started to make marks. I don't think she actually put the fish down first and then did patterning around it. I bet that it would just happen.
Right. Well, I mean, she'd put the fish down and then her painting evolved from that. Maybe.
It's possible. Maybe some of them were. So with what we were reading about the narrative, that it revolved around the river. And so I mean, if turtles were on her mind that day, no doubt, I think it's more like, instead of taking the pencil and drawing the turtle, I think she just like built the turtle as she went, because it's all rudimentary, like her, it had that naivete to it, where it wasn't planned. That to me doesn't feel planned. It felt like creating as you go. And in a way of trust, or like, I don't care if it works out, because in another sense, Betty, it almost was hard to identify if it was a turtle or not. Like, it's like, to me, it was not really about it being the turtle. That's how I felt when I looked at like the bulk of her work. But yeah,
I think it's so much part of the culture that it becomes intuitive. It just happens.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, right. It's in your thoughts all the time.
Chose to put a fish in. I think that it's just such a part of their culture. These are symbols that
Christine, do you mean that, so no matter in a way what patterns she put down, or what lines or shapes she put down, that it's almost inevitable that somewhere along the line a fish would reveal itself, just sort of coming together?
I think when we do our topology and somebody will say, oh, look, I see and you don't go out saying, I'm going to put a face here.
Right.
Just
True.
happens.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's it. And then possibly letting it reveal, like, and pushing it a little bit, like,
Yeah,
oh,
and then you work with it. Right?
here's the turtle. Let's make him more a turtle. So, but, and it's seeing some of the images of her drawing and then looking at all those layering, it really seems like there's a lot of push and pull. So the planning is happening in the moment. And you know, it's a really interesting way to work because there's a book, Brave Intuitive Artist. I think it's Flora Bowley, right? She wrote this book about like how to paint intuitively. And she's a great example, actually. She's American, of someone who goes in very intuitively, but there's repetitive motifs that are a reflection of her. And so, I mean, some of her works will be a tree or a figure, and it's like, yeah, she did put that in intentionally, but it also kind of revealed itself. It's both.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening sort of in tandem. So it's hard to identify if that was actually planned, or if she just allowed it to happen.
What was the name of the book, Charlene?
Brave Intuitive Artist. Flora Bowley used to work. I could be wrong. I'm not sure if I'm not sure. I thought maybe at one point she sort of represented Golden, way back.
Flora and her last name?
Bowley. Bowley.
Bowley. Okay.
Flora Bowley. She is fantastic. I mean, a lot's changed since I started following her, where now she's doing like artist retreats and whatnot. Anyway, she teaches workshops, and she might have written more books. Her website's fantastic, so yeah, definitely check her out. She teaches that whole just keep painting, like don't stop.
I think I've seen her. I think you told me about her a long time ago.
Yeah.
A while ago.
Yeah, I have a book by her. I have a really good book by her to get kids to paint.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you told me about it, and I have it. It's doing these little projects. It's all about doing these little projects. Like do one each day.
Here, I have it right here. It's called Fresh Paint.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah.
Here. Sorry. Ow.
Ooh.
Here we go. So this was collaborative with this other artist, and yeah, it's really, I mean, it was her latest book, and I really liked the idea. I have used it. There's exercises in it, but there's also questions so that you're personalizing like your own journey and not just copying what other people are doing. Like what you love and why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very, very practical book. There's lots of kitschy sort of books, like, you know, with projects and stuff that people have given me or I've purchased. And I actually, like here's another one that's a bit kitschy because of the freehand. I wouldn't have bought it. Someone gave this to me, but I mean, there's some good ideas in it. But it's not as interactive, I guess, as Flora's book.
These are great things to put on your Christmas list.
Yeah, the Fresh Paint is a kind of newish book. I've only had it for a couple of years.
I could show you what I started. This isn't, I don't know. I struggle with just getting loose in that. So I didn't end up doing what I thought I'd do with all the greens because I don't know. I find myself doing these circular patterns, but what I did, like this is a phthalo turquoise background. Like it's just a piece of paper. So I do like this, what's happening here in this corner with the transparent orange. I didn't like those pastel looking orangey shapes. So then I started to go in with the glaze of the transparent orange and some of the blue. So I do like some of these neutrally things that are going on, but yeah, I don't know.
Oh, so when you aren't in front of it, like there's so much depth. It looks like the space, the spatial visual, like there seems to be so much depth with the layering of shapes and stuff. Yeah, and I love your squiggly lines and lots of great stuff happening in there.
I like the removal, like this one part here. I like that, like this. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I like the one where your left hand is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a cool little thing. It's a bunch of Easter eggs. I keep thinking it's a bunch of Easter eggs. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Nice palette. Good. There's if you were to kind of give yourself a time limit on, like, you know, to not spend too much time on it, but there's an area where I think value needs to be resolved a little bit. Like there's a corner that's pretty dark.
Like up here.
Oh no, I actually like that. It's the opposite of diagonal.
Oh, down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some shapes that just seem like, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with having low contrast, but it also could be the sheen. They're very shiny. Transparent colors are so shiny.
Yeah, I just got bored. I didn't know what to put in. It's like, okay, what now?
So I love that. On that note, there is so much merit to setting yourself up to be bored, and then to have to make decisions to move through that just to get yourself off. Like that's amazing. I love that we've done this, right? Just, you know, appeasing ourselves just for the sake of it, right? Like, okay, you know, what feels good? How do I spend my time this morning? And I couldn't have spent it any better. Love you guys. Next week, we're gonna look at another artist, and I had made a list. Hold on, let me tell you so that you are in the know.
Are we off next week, Shar?
Oh, I'm so yes. Sorry. Yes, we skipped next week. I am in Cornwall. I apologize. Yes, thank you, Betty. I will send out a reminder to be like, I skipped the whole weekend because I leave on Friday to Cornwall. So yes, we're skipping. All right. Here we go. Oh, my knees. Oh my goodness. I need that. The German scientists apparently have developed a gel like to regrow cartilage. I mean, I'm like, me, please. I'll even guinea pig it. Yeah. Even if there's side effects.
Yeah, but by the time Health Canada allows that here, like, you know, we'll be long gone. That's the problem with a lot of this stuff. So unfortunate. I've got a friend that goes over to Germany, and I'm like, okay, this is what you got to get me because you can't get it here. Stupid. Yeah.
Great strides are being made, though, you know, with new things. It's quite exciting.
It is. Japan's also, I subscribe to the Good News Network emails, and Japan has also made some big leaps for dementia.
Yes.
Identifying proteins. Long COVID. Also, they've identified a protein.
Really?
For what's causing the long COVID. Yeah. It, you know, but the latest article, and we're not going to go here, but the latest article was, you know, the unfortunate downfall of trust in science, right? So it's like there are amazing things happening, and definitely, like, if you ever feel disillusioned or depressed about the state of the world, start looking into what is actually happening, because the disinformation and what is focused on in the news is absolute garbage, because it's way better than what they're saying. Oh, okay. So I would like to actually ask you guys then. Let's do a little vote. Cy Twombly is an amazing focus of an artist, and the projects I have for that are all based on automation and intuitive mark making. It's not like the artropology game at all. It's more like the surrealist, making a mark and continuing to go and allowing things to reveal. It's okay. So, and I may have done some projects. It's one of the ones I've possibly done with you in the past is gesso and charcoal, push and pull, gesso and charcoal. You draw and you paint. And so it's not about the result, it's about the action. So it's kind of an active, intuitive painting approach. So Cy Twombly is someone that I would like to look at, whether it's the 3rd or the 4th class. April Copini is, I have her to look at when it comes to movement, and looking at, that would be maybe more of a drawing exercise.
She's great. Really love her work.
And then an artist that I met, and she lives in BC, Lottie Anderson. She is very interesting, and what we could learn from her, it's kind of connects to Sonia Kurarra in a way, but it would be best done with watercolor. So I don't know if me telling you and giving you the media is of interest, but Cy Twombly is a for sure for me. And so maybe we'll do that in the 3rd week, and then we can together look at the projects for the last class. How about that?
So gesso and charcoal.
Cy Twombly, the projects are kind of open. It would be, for me, it'd be drawing and painting tools. So it doesn't matter if it was gesso. You could do pastel and oil paint, like for Stacy, you can do charcoal and oil on paper. It's going to be like it doesn't have to be something that you prepare for it to be a finished work. Like this is more, I'm going to suggest lots of surfaces. And so we're going to go through them really quickly.
What about cold wax? Could you do cold wax in oil?
Well, that's a medium for oil. Yeah. And
so you could, okay.
Yeah. And so as long as your surface has a tooth for drawing and painting and pushing, pulling, some of the exercises, it's not about the media necessarily. It's about like painting or drawing to music. So there's more of an evoking a feeling, like incorporating poetry, automatic drawing or automatic painting is more of a process, like a philosophical approach. So it really doesn't matter about the material. But I like the drawing and painting merge because they're two different things. Drawing, an approach to drawing is different than painting. So I like the collision. So it could be colored pencils and watercolor. It really doesn't matter, the combo.
I'm going to be traveling, so I'm just thinking what I can.
Ooh, okay. Where are you going?
Vancouver Island.
I'm
going to hang out with musicians.
Is it like a festival or friends?
Friends.
Friends, nice.
Yeah.
Great. Well, how about then by tomorrow or Monday when I do the follow-up video? Sometimes like I get the video done really quickly, but it'll be on Monday for sure. How would I send the overview of what those exercises will look like and so you can pack. When are you leaving, if you don't mind me asking?
Tuesday morning.
Oh, so if I get it out by Monday, it's okay?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Wonderful. So that's what we'll do in 2 weeks, but I'll see some of you tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Have a great day.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.